Happy astrological period, Pisces. Welcome back to Will's Cartomancy Tarot. Today, Pisces, I'm going to be giving a romance reading for both singles and couples, which will be in effect from now until the end of this month. And to save some time, Pisces, I've already shuffled the deck and displayed the cards as we see here. Okay? So, Pisces, let's begin. Let's start with your bottom card here. The card that fell to the bottom of the deck. We have the Jack of Spades here, Pisces. So, this Jack represents an air sign, Pisces. It could possibly be a Gemini, Libra, or an Aquarius. I'm also picking up on a Taurus, too, potentially. And as such, Pisces, it says that you might have concern about this person. He or she is a complete dichotomy, it seems. This card kind of relates to crusading, assertiveness, and outspoken communication, but also indicates a tendency really to not take problems seriously, Pisces. So he or she appears very young or has a very youthful outlook on life. And this card is all about being open-minded, having a cautious attitude or approach to life, Pisces. This card says this person has more than likely come to a time of quiet hesitation. He or she is trying to understand what it looks like contributed to his or her past failures in love. And this card is saying that, you know, Pisces, you won't want to kind of be in the position that you're in, and you're going to be very upset and confused about how to really deal with it. This card is suggesting to me that you will want to walk away from or forget a painful relationship, but really won't be able to, Pisces. This card is saying you and your significant other, it looks like you tend to disagree on several points in your relationship, and each tries to kind of change the other's mind about the issue, and it appears, Pisces, to be an exercise in futility. This card says you are going to be surprised, however, by the return of a lover and an unexpected turnabout in matters of the heart. And it looks like it could potentially be a positive development, Pisces. This card says that the situation in which you feel trapped in is only temporary, and your pessimism will soon be replaced by great joy. And someone is going to be very instrumental in changing things for you for the better. So let's move right along, Pisces, and just, look at yourself and look at you and how you are functioning in this relationship. And we have the Ace of Clubs here. And Pisces, this card kind of describes your hopes and fears for your union and kind of, explains how you're feeling about your partner. So Pisces, this Ace is a card about soul communion and a love and spiritual bond. This card says you have enormous talents, Pisces, and tend to know things in advance that you cannot explain. This card says you have a psychic bond with your partner, but you will not want to experience life alone or have a part-time type relationship. You're going to want a full-time partner. And Pisces, though you will be very receptive to those who advance, it looks like the time may not be ripe to kind of reap the full harvest. However, I do see that you're going to, you can expect a happy union. And if you've had problems, Pisces, in the past, it looks like tensions or misunderstandings will be resolved. I'm also feeling that there could also be a discussion about marriage or a possible live-in arrangement. But one thing you might want to remember, Pisces, is that when you see this Ace kind of appearing in a romance reading, you could be playing with fire. So be careful and don't get burnt, and don't spark an inferno that will kind of rage out of control. Get my drift? Okay, let's move right along to see how your partner is kind of functioning in a relationship, because the next card will show his or her hopes and fears for the union, and it will explain how he or she is kind of feeling about you. So the next card here is the Two of Hearts here. So this card is karmic at best and says that your lover sees you as his or her soulmate. He or she loves you. A strong sexual attraction seems to resonate at deep instinctive levels. And I'm sensing a sense of deja vu, that perhaps permeates this relationship. So this individual is sweet and sincere, and I'm feeling that, this card says that your partner wants to be in accord with life and love, and to resolve problems of estrangement with you. However, the hint in this card is that there will be no union or total commitment on the part of your partner until he or she first resolve an inner dispute, as as the bottom card had suggested here, the Jack of Spades. He or she really needs to get clear about what he or she wants and needs, and also, Pisces, plausible. There could be another person with whom your partner has established relations, and he or she, because I'm feeling that he or she appears somewhat torn, and he or she must really, really make a decision to kind of leave one of them behind, and it may not be a easy decision. Okay, let's move right along, Pisces, and just look at how the relationship kind of stands as it is now. The next card that kind of appears here, which what we have here is the Ace of Diamonds. It explains how your alliance functions and kind of expresses your mutual ambitions for your romance. So, Pisces, this card is all about success through endurance. So this card says that, this is an alliance between two powerful people. But you might wish that, I'm kind of feeling that your partner was a bit more loving, and as such, Pisces, I'm feeling you might want to move on with someone else, But this card says that the relationship will take on a fresh start, particularly, Pisces, it looks like during the spring months, and we're kind of already in it now, but from the March, April, May time frame. And your loneliness, it looks like it's going to come to an end. But this card says that it may take a while, but, what was pruned or cut back is going to spring up again. In Pisces, one thing you might want to understand is that all things really come in time, and if you've come to a dead end, it's because that, you kind of lack the kind of knowledge that only time and experience can acquire. This card says, Pisces, try to keep an optimistic attitude and let time be the deciding factor. Also, take time out to play, Pisces, and don't be afraid to spend money on pleasurable pursuits and enjoyable commodities, okay? So let's move right along to your fourth card, Pisces, and just see what the future will bring. We have the Six of Spades here, okay? So Pisces, this final card, it foretells the next phase of your relationship or the future prospects, perhaps, of a new one. So Pisces, this Six of Spades is really all about anxiety and faith. It's the little panic attack card. This card kind of says your lover will be very nervous and anxious. He or she, is precarious, Pisces, but stable. And if you have just recently started to deal with someone, Pisces, it says, your partner will talk a lot and appear nervous, but you're going to sense a fundamental, solidity to him or her nonetheless. Okay? Because this card says that, really don't get pulled off by his or her jumpy ways. But this card, one of the things that you want to understand is that this card also says a promising situation, Pisces, might also turn out to be a disappointment, as there, potentially might be a delayed meeting, I'm feeling, or more of what you really don't want. This card says that you might be dismayed or become a bit dismayed or disappointed in your personal relationships, because you're going to feel, Pisces, that the road to success is not as smooth as you hoped it would be. However, this card brings about that, or suggests too, that a negative period is going to end and new partnerships are going to be established. And I'm feeling that you will be voyaging from, really one phase in your life to another. Yet again, you still might make a decision to regenerate, Pisces, in a new direction with another partner if you feel you are unable to kind of resolve, the differences with your current partner. But, however, I'm feeling that, there looks like with this card, it brings about a trip or somehow. So there may be a short, pleasurable trip with the one from whom you've been estranged that might be on the horizon, Pisces. So why don't I just move on and just, just looking at the numbers of these cards, that's the regular cards here, I have come out with a numerical theme of your reading. So it comes out to the number 10. So in the tarot, the number 10 card would be the Wheel of Fortune. So just to give you a bit more parting advice, this card kind of says that someone from your past, as I suggested throughout through these cards here, is going to return, but you're going to be undecided about the relationship or the way it's going to go. This card says that situations are going to be out of your control, and your premonitions, Pisces, will probably be, pretty much on point. So what you need to do is to kind of get ready for a new way of life, because one is about to commence. And what's happening in your life, Pisces, will soon turn into something much better, because this apparent havoc is actually the beginning of a new order, which seems to have been destined to happen. And if events, Pisces, had not convened in just this way, you'd still be where you are, or where you were. And you would, really miss the turn of fortune that, faith has in store for you. So don't get stuck on plans. Letting things go the way they will make the way easier for you. Hence, Pisces, events are going to sum up in such a way that it will be impossible, for you to really miss the result. And I just, went on to a few other decks, Pisces, just to get a few more clarifying information or whatnot that I could just impart to you in closing out this reading. So I shuffled Doreen's Virtues deck, the Romance Angels, and the card that I shuffled out was, heart-to-heart conversation. And Pisces, this card is urging you to kind of have honest conversation with your partner. It is suggesting that perhaps you've been holding on, Pisces, to emotions that no longer suit you. And you might to initiate an uncomfortable conversation with your partner and risk upsetting him or her. Because what the suggestion in this card is that this is necessary, Pisces, if the relationship is to progress. And if need be, Pisces, this card is kind of indicating that perhaps you might want to schedule a mediator, a counselor, or a friend if necessary to kind of facilitate this discussion. Because by sharing your feelings, you kind of stand, a much better chance of teaching your partner about your needs instead of suffering silently. Okay, Pisces? So I went on and shuffled another card. And I shuffled a card from PC Cass and Colette Barron's Read deck. And the card that came out, or that I pulled, was Fulfillment. So Pisces, this card is a sign that all your needs are being met. And that you are closer really to achieving your goals, whether you think so or not. So this card is asking you to look around and kind of recognize all the ways that your life is really full, and really to stop worrying about a lot of things that may not be as important as you think them to be at this time. So Pisces, this is what I have for you this evening. I actually have a few more interesting readings that I'm going to be posting shortly, soon after this. As with any reading, I'm sure that this reading may have not resonated with all of the viewers here, but for those for whom this reading was meant, I would certainly appreciate hearing your comments and letting me know how this reading resonated for you. I do trust that this reading has offered you food for thought, and should you wish to get more detail or to gain more personal insights into your current situation, by all means, schedule a personal reading with me by emailing me at wat61073@gmail.com. And remember to subscribe. Thanks a lot, and enjoy your evening.